Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel Stacy Talks, where we focus on becoming more adequate, confident, and self-loving women. Today I'm so excited because we're going to be talking about a little bit of a controversial topic, and as always I'm hoping to come about it as clearly and intentionally as possible. In today's topic we're going to be talking about, should the men pay on the first date? Okay, so first of all, let me just start off by saying I made a TikTok so I made two TikToks, and there's this trend going around with the song that goes, "Get out right now, it's the end for you and me." Okay, that song, right? So the joke is that you say a statement and obviously you don't agree with it, so you're telling the person to get out. I don't want to put him here because I don't want to get copyrighted for the music, but the first TikTok that I made was when he doesn't bring you flowers on the first date, and the joke was like, get out right now, right? Like it's the end. And people were really funny about that, and they were like, oh my god, do you think it's not too much to expect that? But this is not what this video is about. And so because I saw that it got a little bit of an uprise from people, I was like, well, let's just put it all out there and let's see what I actually really expected when I used to be dating. So then the next joke that I put was when he asked you to pay for half of the date on the first date. I haven't gone on a first date in a really long time, but before I met the love of my life, who is my boyfriend, I went on a couple first dates, and I used to date very intentionally with the goal of getting a partner, a lifelong partner, or eventually a husband. I was always very cutthroat with my dating technique, to the point where the first red flag, I was gone. And I was doing this because I was dating with the intention of finding someone that was the best suitor for me. One of my dating requirements was that the guy paid for the first date. And of course I wouldn't like tell them this and be like, oh, you have to pay for the first date. Like, if you don't pay for the first date, I'm not going with you. I would never say that. But to me, it was a little bit of a test to see how they would react. I know this point of view is a little bit outdated, and we live in a society now that likes to go 50-50, especially in America. And while I personally do believe that we need equality and that things should be equal when it comes to respect, when it comes to boundaries, and when it comes to owning your body, I don't necessarily know that it being 100% equal while we're dating is something that I'm into. As a woman who's starting, or who has been diving deeply into her feminine journey, I have always, even subconsciously before I started this journey, been into the type of partner who treated me like a princess. Even before I was in my feminine journey and I was deeply into my masculine, I would still expect the guy to open doors for me. I would still expect the guy to pay on the first day. I would still expect the guy to let me walk on the inside of the sidewalk, and I would still expect the guy to open my car door and to tell me how beautiful I am. I know this might seem outdated for some of you guys, but I didn't really want to date somebody who didn't treat me like that, and who didn't see me as someone that they felt lucky to be around. It goes without saying that I also felt very lucky to be around the guys that I was with, because they gave me their time, because they were very nice gentlemen, and because they always treated me very kindly. But above all, I always felt like I wanted to be the prize. To me, if a man feels like he's the prize in the relationship, and that I have to pay for him, and that I have to court him, and that I have to convince him to be with me, that relationship just doesn't work. Blame it on the fact that I just always was treated very right by my dad, or blame it on the fact that I grew up in Mexico. I don't know what you want to blame it on, but in a relationship where he feels like he is the prize and that I have to convince him to be with me, it just doesn't work for me. Now, when it comes to first dates, there's something very special that happens in a first date. Two people come together who don't know each other but are somewhat interested in one another, whether it's the first time or maybe it's the first time that you're seeing them as a potential partner. When we're sharing a meal together, you invited me out. I have already spent hours getting ready. I have worn a beautiful dress. I have taken the time to do my hair. I have taken the time to do my beautiful makeup. I have taken the time to do my beautiful nails, my eyelashes, everything that I look like. I have already invested way more money and way more time than the majority of men have when it comes to a date. Putting it very plainly, all that a woman has to do compared to what a man has to do to get ready for a first date, men are already in the negative and women are already ahead as far as money and time. Outside of the fact that I'm already in and I got ready and I spent all this time to get ready to be on this date with you, if you invited me out, it's because you liked me and you saw something in me that you were interested in, whether that was on a superficial level, or maybe you saw me as somebody who you can see a potential future with, or maybe you think that we can spend the rest of our lives together. For some reason, you decided to invite me out, and it is basic etiquette that the person who invites pays. A true gentleman in my eyes would pay regardless of who invited who out, but at the bare minimum, if this man invited you out, it shows very poor etiquette if he's asking you to pay for half of the bill when he's the one that asked of your time from you. When a man is paying, he is simply saying, I appreciate your time, I appreciate your energy, I appreciate how beautiful you look, and even if things don't go past this first date, I appreciate the fact that you took the time to come meet each other. But what happens when the bill comes? You guys have been feeling each other, you really like this guy, he smells amazing, the conversation is going places, you're even thinking that you're gonna take him home after this day, and the bill comes and he just looks at you like this. Girl, run. There's 3 reasons why a man may not want to pay for you on the first day. Number 1, he doesn't see you as someone who's worth his money. The majority of men want to show off and they want to make you feel so special when you're with them that you'll stop thinking about all the other options that you have. Men know that you have options. Men know that you can go out and meet someone and date another guy. If a guy truly is invested in you, he will make sure that you have such a grand time and that you don't even move a finger, so that you feel like, wow, this guy truly is somebody who went out of his way to make me feel special. It sucks, and I am so sorry to be this direct and this blunt, but when a guy's asking you to pay for half of the meal, it's because he doesn't see you as someone who he can have a lifelong partnership with. That's option number 1. Option number 2, you're dating a cheap man. Do cheap men exist? Yes. Are cheap men bad? Not necessarily. They are not bad people. They're just probably been through some sort of trauma that made them this way, that makes them want to hoard money. And that's 100% okay. That's a video for another time. But you have to ask yourself, do you want to date a man who's very frugal and who's very cheap? If the answer is yes, then that's 100% okay. You get to date this man and you guys get to have a wonderful life together. The consequences come when you date a man who's so cheap that he won't pay for half of your dinner. Yes, but if you're willing to tolerate those things and you're okay with being with someone who doesn't want to pay for you, that's okay. Being a cheap man doesn't necessarily equate to being a bad man, but personally, I'm not interested in dating cheap men. And the last and third option I would say why a man is not paying for you is because he is a mantenido. I don't really know how to say mantenido in English, but es un vividor. And basically what that means is he knows that you are a kind woman. He knows that you like him. He believes that he himself is the prize. And he knows that if he just stares at you long enough while the check is there, you will eventually pick it up and either pay for half of it or the whole check. I've heard horror stories about men who literally ask for your money, ask for your debit card, or ask you to write out pay for the bill because they don't have money, because they don't want to spend their own money, or because they forgot their wallet. A lot of times as women, we don't want to be seen as gold diggers, and we don't want to be seen as, oh, we're taking advantage of him monetarily. We'll be very quick to jump in and put our card down, put cash down, pick up the bill, because we don't like that awkward feeling. If you notice, men don't ever really focus on the awkward feeling. Los vividores, los mantenidos, they'll stay there just looking at you. Thankfully, that's never happened to me, but I have gotten messages where you guys have told me that that happened to you. And I'm so sorry, but if a guy is that shameless about the fact that he doesn't want to pay, that he forgot his wallet, or where he's not even straight up asking, hey, do you mind paying for half of this meal? That's not the kind of man that you want to date, because someone who's tricking you into paying is not someone that's going to be very honest about his place in the relationship. Now, ladies, I do think there's a difference between going out and dating men with the intent of seeing if they're providers and seeing if they're a potential lifelong partner, and dating men for the purpose of getting free meals. please don't let me find out that you're doing the latter and that you are using men for free meals. It doesn't speak very highly of you, and as a feminine woman and as a high value woman, you don't need somebody to give you free pity meals. When the whole conversation comes up as to who should pay on the first day and is it okay to split the bill or should the man pay 100%, you get to decide what you want out of a relationship and what you're willing to settle for. For me, it was always very important to find somebody who saw my value and who valued me enough to want to take me out on a date, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's not necessarily about who's paying for the meal, but what are you doing for me to show me that I should be with you? When a man likes you and when he truly is invested in you, when he sees your value, and when he wants to make sure that no other man even has a chance to get to know you, he will do whatever he has to do to wow you. And at the end of the day, to me, at my primal needs, if I can trust you to provide one meal on the first date for me, how can I trust that you will provide a lifetime for me and my children? That's what it feels like to me, and I have no shame in it. And thankfully, I found someone who loves to spoil me, and now when I see him spoil me and when I see how great he is with me, I know that he is gonna be a great father and he's gonna make sure that our kids have everything. Because at the end of the day, when you're dating with intent and when you're dating to find a lifelong partner, you have to think about your future with this person and what they will be not only as a husband, but also as a father. I know it seems silly to think, how can you tell on a first date if this is something that he will do? But at the end of the day, people show you who they are really, really fast. And you don't really have to wait very long to see what they mean when they're not showing you the most respect and they're not trying to wow you. It might be silly, but to me, paying for the first date means that you will be able to provide for us and our children one day. So next time you go on a first date, don't think of it just as a meal, but as a potential test for what this man could be like as a husband and as a father. That's gonna be it from me on this video. I would love to hear your point of view and how you feel about the certain situation. If you're the type of woman who likes to go 50-50, or even if you're the type of woman that likes to pay on the first day, I would love to know why you feel the need to pay. And I know that I've gotten the comment a couple of times where girls will say, well, I don't want somebody to tell me I paid for your meal, so you have to do X, Y, and Z, or I paid for your meal y ahora te lo están restregando en la cara. If a man pays anything for you and then throws it back in your face, he is then also showing you that he is not the type of man that you want to marry or birth children with. Because at the end of the day, we are not looking for somebody to just date. When you're looking to date with intent, every single thing that this person does is a direct message of to who they will be when they become a husband and a father. Remember, we never oppose ourselves to paying for half of our meal, but if we do have to pay for half of our meal, that lets us know exactly the kind of man we're dating. Las quiero mucho, que Dios me las bendiga, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye.